Thanks everyone for being here on the Solar Objections live action role play. I am Solar Joe, and today we have Super Solar Pro, Mr. Benny Fine here. Benny has been a solar pro for the last 6 or 7 years. He's worked at Vivint, at SolarCity. He's moved from California to Florida. He's run his own companies. Now he's running his own beneficial LLC. But this guy is a wealth of solar knowledge. He is knowledgeable in all areas of solar, and so we're really lucky to have him here. Benny, thank you so much for being here, man.
Joe, man, I'm really excited. Thanks for having me on. I love seeing your talks, and I'm really excited to be able to help others out with this role play.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you today you're going to help some people out. But everybody watching, if you're excited, as I am to hear Benny, go ahead and say, let's go. And also, if you have any questions you want to ask him or objections you want him to handle, go ahead and put it in the comments now. And if you guys want your name to be shown, you have to go to the StreamYard link on the bottom of the post, and it'll allow us to see your name. If not, it won't show it. But today, I will be playing the role of the tech-savvy homeowner, and Benny will be playing the role of the solar pro. So let's get started. Hey, Benny, thank you so much for meeting, man. I know we talked a little bit before, but I have a couple of quotes I already have. I've done my research, and I was just kind of curious before we started, what kind of solar panels do you guys have?
Yeah, Joe, that's a great question, and thanks for your time this evening. I appreciate it. It looks like you guys have been in the home now for a couple years, so you've probably seen some changes in the neighborhood. You've seen some of the electric costs go up. How'd you guys do through the last storm the last couple weeks?
Oh my God, don't tell me about it. My power was out for like 4 days. It was crazy, and I never want that to happen again. That's kind of why I'm doing my research now.
Got it. Yeah. So that's the best thing about solar and batteries. We can absolutely prevent that from happening in the future. And, to kind of go back to your point with solar panels, we use the best equipment on the market, and it's engineered to withstand horrible conditions. NASA's been using solar since the 60s and still working in outer space. The Mars rover is using solar panels. And so solar in general is an incredible technology. There's no moving parts. And most all solar panels are going to last you 25 years, okay? So the equipment that we're using is built to last and engineered to withstand the worst conditions and make sure that you don't have to climb on your roof or do anything, and you could do what you do best, Joe, which is look great and have a good time doing it.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you have a favorite solar panel? Because the ones that I've been looking at, so I got 2 quotes. One is with SunPower with the Enphase battery, and the other quote I'm looking at is LG with the LG Chem battery, because my research shows that those are the top panels and batteries in the market. What panel are you looking at and battery option?
Yeah, so I sat with my engineering team and we put together the proposal for you. So let me pull it up on the screen here and we could go through those details together, okay?
All right, that sounds good.
Share my screen. And this is going to help you see exactly which panels we use and why they're the best and how we're going to be able to get rid of your electricity bill and prevent your power from going out. Can you see that?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, that's you, Mr. Joe?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. Want to make sure that we get the address right here too, so we don't install solar on your neighbor's house and then they start saving. You're at 1922 Shadow Forest Drive in Katy, Texas.
Yep, that's my address.
Okay, great. And that's what you'll see. Like the panels that we use are all black solar panels. And you kind of get an idea from this picture just how sleek they look on the rooftop. Okay, one of the things that when we install solar panels, we want to make sure that the aesthetics look incredible as well. Okay, so in addition to making sure that we can help you save money, it's going to look great.
Yeah, those look great, man. What kind of those?
So these are the Q cell panels, okay? And the panels that we use are the Q cells. They're German engineered, and they manufacture a majority of their equipment here in the US, in Georgia.
Wait a second. Aren't those the Hanwha Q cells? I don't want any Chinese-made solar panels, man.
Good call. Yeah, they're Hanwha. And these are actually made in Korea. So don't worry, they're not Chinese made panels. We make sure to get the best equipment for you. And although China does have this connotation of not having the best research and development or testing, we bypass them altogether and make sure we get you the best panels. So the Q cells, they're German engineered. Majority are made right here in the US. And some of them are going to be still made in Korea, but not China. So don't worry. Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, now, I feel better about that. I'll do some more research on that to make sure. But what is the best way to make sure I have backup power? So what's the battery you use?
Yeah. So the battery you use, this is the layout of your house. And we did a full design. I know that we spoke yesterday about your utility bill usage. And in the summer, your bill was going up almost as high as $400, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. That's what I'm really worried. That's what I'm talking to you now before the summertime.
Yeah, exactly. Before those summer bills come back, we want to make sure you can start saving and never see a $400 bill again. How's that sound?
Yes, exactly.
Does that sound good?
That sounds great. And the backup power too, right?
And backup power. So I'll show you that as well. We're using the Tesla Powerwall. Have you heard of Tesla?
Oh, yes, of course.
You got any stocks? It's going back.
Yeah, I did buy a couple, and it's actually still up, even though it went down a little bit and back it up, since I bought it.
Yeah, the great thing about Tesla is, they do a ton of research and development. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, and the batteries they roll out have been tested and tried and true to make sure they can protect your home when the grid goes out. Okay, so we'll kind of go through exactly what you're looking to protect. But the first layer of protection with batteries is going to cover all the essentials. So the first option we do is we install one battery, and it can be installed. These are weather rated, so they can be installed inside the home or outside of the home. Now I notice here you have the driveway. Do you have a garage here that we can install the battery, or would you want to put it on the side of the home?
I would, whatever you guys think. The other guys left it kind of like that, the way you're showing it.
Yeah, so we can install them anywhere. They are weather rated. And the idea with the battery is that when the grid goes down, we install it so there's an automatic transfer switch and the batteries automatically kick on the most essential breakers in your home. Okay, and that's going to be covering things such as your refrigerator and freezers. I know when we spoke yesterday, you do hunting, so you got a couple freezers in your home. Those are going to be covered. You want to make sure the food is good, right? And
yeah, so I have. What's the difference from like a generator and a smart battery? Is a generator going to give me better for backup to cover those freezers and refrigerators?
No, so the battery will cover the refrigerator and freezers the same as a generator. One of the big differences is that a generator needs a ton of maintenance, just like a vehicle, right? There's a lot of moving parts in a generator. It's like having a Chevy motor on the side of your house going 6,000 RPMs all the time. So it's really loud. You have a tank of gas that always needs to be filled. And in some of the horror stories that I've heard with generators is that when the power goes out, the generator doesn't work because it hasn't been maintained. So you get this 10-year lifespan with a generator that needs a ton of maintenance, really loud. And then the smart battery, there's no sound to it, so you wouldn't hear anything. There's very little maintenance needed, and it still comes with a 10-year warranty. You don't have to go out and get gas. And usually when if there's a hurricane or there's a storm, gas is one of the hardest things to get, right? So True. What I'd suggest is with the smart battery, you don't ever have to worry about going to get gas again. So when we install the Tesla Powerwall, this is going to cover your refrigerator, your freezers, the lights in your home, your TV, internet, Wi-Fi, security. Okay, make sure that you can open the garage. All the essentials are covered. And included in that, of course, is coffee. You got to have coffee and make sure the microwave is there so you can cook food as well. Okay, so the battery is going to cover the basic layer of protection. Okay, so when the grid goes down, this will automatically kick in for you.
Got it.
And I had my engineering team design the system for you. As you can tell from the street, you're not going to see any solar panels on the front of your house. So it doesn't take away from the aesthetics. And you have this south-facing roof section here that's getting plenty of sunshine. Does your home heat up, get hot during summer months? I know the
Oh my God, that right in that area too is where it always gets hot.
Yeah. So here's one of the awesome things about solar panels is that these instantly become a protection and a layer of shade to prevent the sun from hitting your rooftop directly. So the solar panels are actually going to be capturing a lot of that heat and going to be creating electricity from the solar panels. They get wired to your main electrical panel and power your house directly. So the way solar works is that we're going to install the solar panels, and if you qualify, there's no out-of-pocket cost. We install the system at no out-of-pocket cost, and we replace your electric bill. So you'll never see a $400 bill again if you're using the same usage. And that's our goal is, I appreciate you sending me the bills. He sent me over. I gave it to my engineers, and this was the design that we came up with. So when the panels are here on the south side of the house, they're going to be collecting a ton of energy, but also simultaneously prevent some excess heat coming into the house, kind of like a palm frond or some kind of shade covering the rooftop. So it'll be a 2-for-1. It's going to get a little less hot here, as well as just getting a ton of sunlight.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. One question I have before you go any further is like the research I've been doing is showing that SunPower and LG are like the best panels out there, and that's what I was focusing on. And you're telling me Hanwha Q cells with the Tesla Powerwall. Why do you think? What's the reason you think that Hanwha Q cell system is going to be better than those two other options?
Yeah, it's a great question. And again, solar panels work, right? And the reason that we go with the Q cells is because you get the best return on your investment. Are you going solar because you're looking for savings? I think we kind of talked about that. You wanted to bring down some of the cost, right?
Yeah, if we can use technology to make money, save money, and better for the environment, why not, right?
Exactly. And I always tell this to customers and our customers that are with us. I know you want to help the environment, but if I came back to you and said, "Hey, Joe, I know your bill's $400 a month now to go solar. It's only going to cost you $200 more a month." What would you say to that? Probably tell me to go in the same place as everyone else, right? Jump in the same lake. So my goal, Joe, is to make sure you're saving money right away. We want you to be able to experience the savings from solar without having to wait for 3, 4, or 5 years. Okay. So you'll see once we bring up the monthly payments here, that when switching to solar, you're going to instantly be saving. Okay.
So I get the same amount of power, but I could just get to save money. So why spend more money on a more expensive panel? That's what you're saying pretty much?
Exactly. And so we looked at your electric usage, and you're using around 22,900 hours a year.
Yep.
And I compare it to a car lease where, a lease where you can drive about 10 or 15 or 20,000 miles a year. And so every home will put on 10, 15, 20, and in your case, 22,000 hours a year. So we designed the system here to make the same amount of hours that you're using. So instead of buying the electricity from your grid, you're going to just be creating the power yourself from your rooftop, and you'll be buying the power directly from yourself. Okay. So we always compare it, similar comparison to renting versus owning. You guys own the house, and you probably remember renting. Usually rent is more expensive, right, than the mortgage. And then after 10 years of paying rent, what'd you get from that?
Nothing, actually.
The landlord probably give you a hike in your cost, right? They increase your bill. And so
headaches.
Yeah, they're always looking for more. And so the utilities the same way. Utilities, they have two options. Are they going to give you good service, or are they going to charge you a lot of money? And which one do you think they push? Which button?
Yeah, they're making money, right?
Yeah, so they're in it for the money, and the CEO is not going to take a pay cut. So the idea is we switch you from the utility grid, which is consistently going up in cost year over year. Nobody has a crystal ball exactly how much the cost is going up, but the standard rate is about 3 to 4%. per year. Okay, so we estimate that by switching to solar, you're going to save over $109,000 over a 25-year period. Okay, at a rate of inflation of 4%. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So we looked at your bill. You're paying, $400 in the summer. I know in the winter your gas bill goes up and your electric bill comes down. So your bill's roughly around $200.
Yeah, that's not that bad in that time.
Yeah. So here's how we have it set up for you. We get your payments down to $254 a month. Okay. Creates all your power and gives you this insurance plan to protect you against power outage. Okay. So the batteries that we install are the Tesla Powerwall. Now, this has a 13.5 kilowatt hour battery. And so the system here is designed to make
13.5. That's pretty big. The other ones I seen was like a 10 kW or a 9.3. So that's a pretty large. Does it have more backup because of that? More storage?
It has a little bit more storage. Yeah. So the way batteries are rated is by kilowatt hours. Okay. And so a traditional home can use between 1 to 2 kilowatt hours an hour. And during a power outage, you're probably not going to be using your electricity as much as you would during a normal day with the washer and dryer going off and on. So you probably won't be using 2 kilowatts per hour. So with a 13.5 kilowatt hour battery, you could run 1 kilowatt an hour for 13 and a half hours.
Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean in layman's terms?
That'll get you through a night. We want to make sure it's nighttime, right? And then when the sun comes up the next day, that's going to hit the solar panels, create power your home, and then extra power goes back into the battery to refill the battery. And it's kind of like when you charge your phone and use it at the same time. It's still refilling. Okay. So you'll find that with the batteries, and we want to make sure that you could survive another power outage of 3 to 4 days.
Okay, so no, you don't have to convince me to go solar. Like, I definitely want to go solar. I've definitely been doing my research, and I'm just trying to figure out which solar panels. I just want to make sure I make the right decision. And I know you mentioned that the Powerwall. If you're selling a Powerwall, can I just go to Tesla directly and get it cheaper?
Yeah, it's a great question. And so Tesla is a multi-billion-dollar organization. In order to go through Tesla, you're really going to have to call a 1-800 number and speak to someone on the phone. And here's how their process works. They basically ship you out a kit to your house and have some small local installer come out to install it. All right. And what we find by that is a lot of issues. They do use an inferior technology with the inverters. Okay. So you're going to have 3 major components with solar, right? And you've asked me already about the solar panels. So the solar panels we've covered, these are going to be primarily American made, German engineered. The second part, and really the brains of the operation, is the inverter. So Tesla uses inverters that are a string inverter system. And we'll remember this. I know that, it's a beautiful home. You probably put a lot of Christmas lights up there in December. And you probably will remember back in the day when you put up the lights, if 1 or 2 of those light bulbs go out, that whole string goes down. And you just nailed it all the way up on the rooftop and ridge. So there you go, climbing up there. And the same thing happens with solar panels. If you use an inverter that has that same string technology, where they're going to tie multiple panels together onto one string. And so we avoid that old technology by going with the latest inverters in the industry called microinverters. Okay, these are made by Enphase, and I suggest we talked a little bit about Tesla stock. Look at Enphase stock, ENPH. Okay, that's a great stock. It's going to be going up. So Enphase is also an American product. It's on stock exchange here. And so we use Enphase for the inverters. And this is one big difference that Tesla just does not do. Okay. And at this point, with the Enphase microinverters, you have like a small computer brain underneath each solar panel. Okay, so it allows you to do a couple things. Number one is really monitor each individual solar panel, but also it's going to help maintain the system so that if a few panels were to be shaded or have issues, the rest of the system would continue to work. And these come with a 25-year warranty right out of the box.
So you said that it was the N-phase batteries. That's the SunPower one was telling me N-phase, and I mean the microinverters was N-phase. SunPower was the N-phase microinverters then too, because they have the N-phase battery with the system. So you're saying that you're doing a Tesla Powerwall with the LG, I mean the microinverters from N-phase? I didn't know you could do that from my research.
Yeah, so Tesla Powerwalls are what we call agnostic. You can use the Tesla Powerwall with any inverter system. In the Powerwall has its own inverter to manage the battery components inside. So we like to partner up your solar with Enphase so that you get the best production for your solar panels, and then go with the Tesla Powerwall over Enphase for a couple reasons. Number one is pricing. We want to make sure, again, that you can see big savings. The cost for the Enphase batteries is slightly more expensive. And also, you're only getting 10 hours versus 13.5 hours. So
isn't there something about, I was doing my research and they were saying something about their LFP technology is a safer technology than the Powerwall, and that Tesla's going towards that. And that was the reason they were saying to go with the Enphase one. Is that something that's true?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of changes to battery technology. There's a slight difference in the chemical composition of the two batteries. LFP is lithium iron phosphate. Okay, so it slightly edges out with some of the composition, but the way that the Tesla Powerwall has been made is that it's now indoor and outdoor rated, and we haven't had any issues with the batteries. And again, their cars are still using the same lithium ion batteries, and that's the #1 electric automobile manufacturer. So we have great confidence with the Tesla Powerwall. And again, making sure that you have enough power to get you through a night is really our biggest concern. So with the Enphase, we'd have to put 2 of them in there to get you to 20 hours versus with, it's going to bring up the costs.
No, I like what you're saying. I like the equipment. The pricing is like definitely cheaper than the other options out there. Is there anything I'm missing or losing by not going with them because of they were telling me about how their quality products are superior than other products. Is it? I know they last longer degradation wise. Is that something I should look at as in which one's going to last longer?
Well, the good news is that the Powerwalls come with a 10-year warranty backed by Tesla. Okay, so if you have any issues within 10 years, it's going to be replaced at no cost for you, no cost for service or maintenance if there's any issues with the battery in that 10-year period. Okay, so we'll make sure you're safe and sound. Okay, and again, I know it's just you in the house. So when the power goes out, you're most likely not going to be running 2 AC units at the same time and all your power. That's why my suggestion is to go with 1 battery. But in theory, you could add 2, 3, 4, 5 batteries. I've had some customers tell me that they want to do 6 batteries, and I kind of call that zombie apocalypse mode, where it's like, hey, the sun doesn't shine, you have 6 to 8 batteries in there. That could last a long time, but it is quite expensive. And so our goal is to kind of combine both. We want to make sure you get the best bang for your dollar, that your dollar goes the furthest, your investment is returned as quickly as possible, and have outstanding, excellent equipment. Okay, so we'll get you both. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, so we put up the design here. You saw where the panels are.
Can you share your screen again?
Yeah, let's get that up here. Thanks for your patience. Well,
got it.
I'll have to send you the PDF.
It's not going through. Yeah, it looks like it's blank, right?
Yeah.
No
so I'll send that over to you here. And
so there it is. It's going. Want to bring it up?
Yep.
There we go.
And how's that look?
Perfect. All right.
All right.
So yeah, 16 kilowatt system. So yeah, it sounds good. The only last question I have is that how do I know the solar system is going to do what you promise?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we include a production warranty and a production guarantee. Okay. So the total number of panels we have here is going to make an estimated first year production of 22,972 kilowatt hours. So we give you a peace of mind guarantee that if it makes less than this, we're going to pay for your utility bill cost. Okay. So we guarantee, we guarantee that if it drops less than this, we're going to pay the utility fees and replace any other panels to make sure that it does meet the 22,900 hours that we promised.
All right. Nobody said that to me before. That sounds good.
Yeah, we call it a production guarantee. And then the equipment itself also has a 25-year warranty. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So the panels are going to have a 25-year warranty. And then we have a leak-proof guarantee as well for the home. Okay,
how much are servicing charges? Any maintenance fees I have to pay?
So unlike air conditioning, where you got to have a service tech come out 2 times a year, with solar panels, there's no moving parts. You're really not going to have too many service requirements. So any service or maintenance issues, that's something that we take care of without any cost for you.
All right. Sounds great. So yeah, go ahead. So what do I got to do to qualify?
Yeah, we get your payments down to $254 a month, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. It sounds great, right?
I mean, this is way cheaper than the other options, and you're saying it gives me the same amount of electricity and a better battery. You know, what if I change my mind? Can I qualify now and change my mind later, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have our 3-day right of rescission, and that's something that we're always clear with all of our customers. 3-day right to cancel, but we want to make sure that all of our customers are happy going forward. So we're going to give you excellent experience, make sure that you're saving right away, and you'll get a call from our engineering team welcoming you aboard tomorrow to make sure that we can get you started and have the system installed before you get that $400 summer bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried. This sounds good. So what's the next steps?
Yeah, so we want to make sure that you can qualify for the program so that there's no out-of-pocket costs. Okay, so I just want to confirm here we have the right address. Let me scroll up here just to confirm. You're at 1922 Shadow Forest Drive.
That's it.
Okay, great. I got your name. Now you'll have to pronounce your last name, Joe. I'm sorry.
Musakil.
Musakil. All right, Mr. Musakil. So we got the name and spelling correctly, and I have your email at joem@gmail.com, correct?
That's it.
Okay, so right now we do everything by email, so you'll see all the documents in your inbox. I just need to ask you a few series of questions to make sure you qualify for the program, okay?
Okay.
So you're near the computer where you can pull up your inbox?
I'm right here.
Okay, great. So you'll see these coming in. And then to confirm you're the homeowner, Joe, when's your date of birth?
1/31/79.
Okay. And then to confirm you're the homeowner, what's the last 4 of your social?
5222.
Okay, great. And then one of the last questions here it's going to ask is, what's approximately your annual income?
125,000.
Okay, great. So the good news is that with solar, one of the big benefits is that you're going to get a federal tax credit. So let's make sure.
Yeah, definitely. I know about that too, for sure. And that's a part of why I'm doing this.
Yeah, at 125,000 a year, you should be able to get full advantage of the tax credit. Now we are not.
I pay enough in taxes.
Yeah, I mean, we're not accountants, but it's pretty simple process. If you pay taxes in and you file your taxes, you should qualify for a majority of the tax credit, if not the entire.
I definitely qualify. I can tell you that.
Okay, great. So we just checked, and congrats. It looks like you qualified. So go ahead and open up your email. You'll see an email from us, okay? And it's going to say Mosaic Solar.
Yep, I see it here.
And it says 3 easy steps to go solar.
Yep,
so go ahead and click on that link.
Okay.
And it's going to open up a screen here that's going to ask you to create a password. And so we're going to be doing the install for you. We're going to manage the install, and we're going to warranty everything for 25 years. But you're not going to make your payments to us. You make your payments to Mosaic. They manage the solar program. Okay. So just make sure you put a password that you could remember, so that this way, if you want to pay the system down early, there's no prepayment penalty, and you'll have full access to that. Okay. So again, go ahead and create a password here and log in.
Got it.
Okay. And then click the next button, and you'll see DocuSign. I know when you probably closed on the home, you probably used DocuSign. Are you familiar with DocuSign?
Yeah, just when you like click on the signature.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see a button in the left. It says start. So go ahead and click on that, and it'll take you to the first signature. Okay. And like we discussed, your monthly payment is going to be $245 a month. Okay. But in order for you to keep it at that price, it's $254 a month. In order for you to keep it at that price, what we suggest is that when you get the federal tax credit, the 26%, you take that money and you send it towards the solar program to pay down the solar cost.
Can I keep the money?
Yeah, absolutely. You can keep the money. Okay. Let me show you how much it is, and I'll show you exactly what happens. We do have some customers that keep it. So you're going to be getting a $20,000, $794 tax credit.
All right.
You see that here?
So
here's what would happen. If you take the tax credit, you could go to a trip to Europe. You can go on vacation. You could use it for home improvement. And we've had some other people who've used the tax credit to pay down credit card debt that's at 20 or 25%. So what would happen is if you don't take this and send it voluntarily to Mosaic, who runs the solar program, your monthly payment after a year and a half is going to go up about 26%. Okay.
Got it. So I could keep the money or put it back into the loan.
Yeah, you can keep the money or put it back into the loan. If you keep the money, it's still less than your $400 power bill. So you're still paying less. So we have many customers who just don't even worry about the tax credit. They use it for other home improvements. But you have a year and a half to decide. Okay. And what I was able to do for you, Joe, is I was able to get you your first year, no payments until 2022. So we're actually going to cover your payments. It looks like you qualified to cover your payments until 2022. Okay.
Wow. I didn't realize that I'd be covered. So is that something, an incentive you're doing?
Yeah, this is our summer incentive. We're going into a summer program. We're going to be covering your payments for the rest of this year. So like I told you initially, we want to make sure you could save money. And if you don't have any payments for the rest of this year, that's a great way to start, right?
Yeah, that sounds great to me. Yeah, you got me sold. I just want to make sure that we can get a technician, make sure we can do everything. Is there anything going to change? Is there any surprises going to happen?
Yeah, so your lights still work the same. TV doesn't flicker. Okay, so when you go solar, you're not actually going to notice a livable or a difference in your living experience. Okay, so you can go solar and still have the exact same comfort of living, except that you pay less to do it. All right, so you won't have any difference of experience. Yeah, it's going to still be working great.
Perfect. And there's anything else I have to do? So the loan docs and then the
then I'm going to send this out to you here. Okay, and then scroll down to the bottom. And you'll see it says next step to go solar. So go ahead and check that box and give me your raw graph in here.
Did it?
And click approve.
All right. Done.
Okay, great. Yeah, perfect. And so next steps in the process is we're going to have our engineering team come out. They're going to do a full energy audit. They're going to look at your home structure. We're going to look at the electrical panel and electrical equipment and make sure everything's safe for solar. Now, it looks like a gorgeous house. I don't have any concerns, but just to give you a notice up front, some of the things that we do see when we do an inspection, a lot of times in Miami, we'll see termites. And in parts of California, we see homes that were built in the 20s and their electrical panels are really old. So we do have to upgrade them sometimes.
Okay. Is that an extra cost?
Yeah, it is an additional.
Oh, no.
It's an additional cost, but here's the good news, Joe. I know you said your home was built in 1996.
Yep.
I don't expect you to have any issues with your electrical panel. So I don't expect any surprises and no changes to your costs.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So we'll do our energy audit, and then I'll follow up with you on Friday once we complete everything, and then I'll go through the details with you and let you know the next few steps.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Is there anything else I should know?
So, well, we do have a referral program, and our goal with the referral program is to help you pay off the system as quickly as possible.
Okay. How does that work?
So for every customer that you give us that goes solar, we give you in return $500 referral fee. But for you, Joe, I like you. We can make it $1,000. I'll give you $1,000 for each referral. Okay.
All right. That sounds good. So I just tell somebody to go talk to you and you'll pay me $1,000?
Once they go solar and they're installed, we send you a check for $1,000. Okay. So not just for the name, but I'll be happy if you have a few names right now. You let me know exactly which pizza you want, and I'll send it over to your home. Dinner on me.
Awesome. And closed. You got me closed, man. I'm going to close the screen over here.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. Great job, Benny. I know we don't have too much time. I know you're a busy man. I wanted to get to just a couple of questions at least and some comments in there.
Yeah.
How did it feel, man? You do this every day, but it's kind of a normal conversation you have with homeowners.
Yeah, so I try to approach it very normal and casual. You had some questions out of the gate, and I didn't let you dictate the conversation. So that to me is very important. All these customers are saying, what about this? What about that? How about this? What about the price? And they're jumping the gun, as we say, in a lot of different terms. And so ideally, I like to move them down the conveyor belt at the same pace for every customer. So what panels are you using? Well, that's a great question, Joe. Let me open up the proposal and I'll show you the engineering report that my engineers did. And I don't just tell you right away. Right?
Yeah, it gives me a reason to get to that next step. Oh, it's a perfect question. Perfect question for me because I'm actually going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, exactly. But it also prevents me from just like spilling the beans, telling you, oh, it's Q-Cell. And you go, okay, what about your battery? Oh, that's Tesla. Okay, and how much does it cost? Now I'm not interested. So the customer is the whole conversation. So I find in solar sales, you want to make sure that the consultant is running the conversation and not the customer.
That's awesome, man. I really think you did a great job at it. I know we have a few more minutes. Everybody watching, if you like, awesome, man. If everybody's watching, you liked what Benny is saying and overcoming with the objections, go ahead, like, comment, heart. This is a good time. We're going to ask a few questions here. We're going to do a quick segment. Solar Pro Q&A. So go ahead, guys, put it in the comment sections. We'll get to it, and I'll have a couple of questions too. But first, let's get through the comments here. Gus V. Jr. said, let's go. We got a Facebook user. Go, Benny Fine. Christopher York, thanks for this. Q-Cells, American made. They are assembled in Georgia. Those inverters won't need replacing versus most string inverters. Good job. I'm not going to go through all of them, but quality.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Got one question.
You guys are getting something out of this. I don't see too many questions in here. I do see Facebook user. Are you 100% virtual?
There you go. That was the question I was going to ask you. So there we go. We got a question in the comments. So go ahead, man. Answer the question.
So am I 100% virtual? Yeah, right now I'm selling all over the phone. And believe it or not, me personally, I don't do any Zooms. I don't like the FaceTime. I'm not a good looking guy. I'm in the garage. Okay. So like, on Zoom, I can put that virtual background and I have some panels behind me, but I try to just keep it simple. Okay. Because energy is not really a complicated situation for the homeowner to turn on a light switch. How it's made is really complex. How it gets to your house is complex. But your living experience is simple. So I try to do everything right now really simply. Just pick up the phone. Hey, Joe, you're paying $400. I got your bill to $300. I got your bill to $254. How does that sound? And so, in a post-pandemic world, a lot of people are open to this. Okay. So I find, I'm doing everything virtually right now.
what most people would say is that Zoom is the reason why they're going for Zoom is because they want to read body language. You know, they want to be able to see what that person's doing. They want to be able to see the pets and, you know, look in the furniture in the background. And is that something that kind of hurts you when you're just on the phone at all?
For me, it doesn't. No, I mean, I listen to the cues. I hear the dogs barking. How's the weather over there? You know, how's the missus or what's going on? So I'll usually start the conversation with a little bit of small talk to make up for that kitchen table that we're missing. I'm not in your home. I'm not at your house. You're not making me coffee, right, for closers. So I'm going to try and make up for it a little bit of small talk, but then go back to the main point. And I'll always say some of the same lines for everybody. If I can switch you from your current utility bill to the solar program, and it's less than you're paying now, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it, that sounds great, right?
No brainer.
So they'll say, yeah, that's great, you know? So yeah, I see some questions coming in, but yes, in general, I'm all virtual. I have a rep that loves to close in home. So what I would suggest for you guys is do what makes you feel comfortable and feel really good and amped about selling. I have a rep that's like, I don't like doing anything over the phone, and I feel really alive and really young when I go sell in the house. He's like 48. He's a closer. Yeah, exactly. The kitchen is sweet, dude. You know what I mean? So you can have those conversations at the kitchen table, totally different than over the phone. And for most of us that have been doing this, here's one of the big differences. You can sit in the house for 2 or 3 hours. You cannot keep someone on the phone for 2 or 3 hours.
That's a huge difference. So it's a much quicker conversation, and time is money, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to do 3, 4, 5 presentations a day.
But how is the transition, man? Like it's something that it could be great, but is this something that quickly you can do this, or does it take time to get into that different kind of mindset and get comfortable? Is it a quick transition?
Okay, so in order to make the transition, you need to be 100% committed to it. So have a desk, have a battle zone, have a workstation, have a pen and pad and things ready for you. So don't just like try and wing it by opening the computer or using your cell phone. So go into it. And I see a lot of people with posts online, the solar pros, and they have these like 2 or 3 screens. They got everything in there to make them feel like they're at their workstation. So make it your battle station, and then you can go in there and you can transition right away. Okay. And the biggest advice that I have in this sale, particularly with solar, is just assuming the sale. So when I'm doing the phone call, I just assume like it's totally fine. You know, I assume it's not a big deal for you. We all talk about
that makes sense. I'm going to hit a couple of the comments and help you get, I know you have to get out of here, man, but there was one question here. Have you ever hired another contractor? I promise this will be the easiest home project you didn't do yourself. I'm not sure the exact question, but hopefully maybe you do.
Well, it sounds like the user's maybe giving some couple lines, you know, like when you're in the house, it's kind of like a quote unquote, maybe I'm right, Facebook user, doesn't say name, but that credit SIT is hot. So yeah, I kind of, you know, one nugget that I'd like to give to you guys on this is that when selling solar, obviously we have to get them qualified for the money. Most people don't have $80,000 that they're laying out. And I don't really talk about it like, hey, sir, in order for us to proceed, you need to be able to borrow $80,000 right now your social security number. I try to just keep it, like I said, hey, to confirm you're the homeowner, to make sure that you can qualify, I need to gather some information. And really to qualify is running the credit to make sure that they qualify for the money. So that credit thing, I got that from some of the guys at Vivint when I started. It's just
awesome, man.
It.
So I got another compliment: clear, precise presentation. So I got a question for you, man. I know we have a couple more minutes, but I just, you know, I know you have so much experience and so much you're doing, but you've made mistakes, you know, and especially you have a team now. I know you have about over like 10 solar pros on your team. Anything you can give, any advice, anything you learned from mistakes you've made in the past while building your organization?
Yeah, mistakes is like, we always have to be leading from the front. So I find that I'm always selling myself, and any advice that I give to someone else, I'm doing it myself. So when I used to work an office job, I would take out the trash. And if I ever asked somebody to take out the trash, they've already seen me taking it out 25 times. So it was never like, hey, you need to do this. Like how many follow-ups are you doing today, Joe? How many closings are you going to get? Well, I have one sale every day this week so far. So anybody who's not making a sale, I'm saying, dude, what are you doing? Are you calling? Are you following up? So the mistakes that I've learned is that you can't just tell people what to do. You need to show them what you're doing, and then they'll catch up. And that's how I caught up to the people that were in front of me. I was like, dude, this guy's closing a lot of deals. I'm going to just start saying what he's saying. So that would be one nugget right there. Lead from the front.
Lead by example, right?
Yeah, lead by example. And then, mistakes is that I make mistakes every day. You know what I mean? I really do. I'm not perfect and far from it. So I would say do a pitch that's very similar every single time. And if you're not getting a sale, then something in that pitch is wrong. So instead of winging it every pitch and you're never saying the same thing twice, say it the same time, the same way all the time, and see if it's closing or not. So the mistake that a lot of people do is they think they could just say a new pitch every single customer. And I find that you want to keep it like a Verizon script. Bing, 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 bing. Hey, thanks, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but add me, message me. I appreciate the comments. That's really kind. And so,
let me say it out loud so everybody can hear it too. Benny Fine is a freaking beast. I want to make sure we get that out loud. So great job.
This is the boxing. All right.
There you go.
That's the blue energy. Okay. That ride has got the blue energy, the energy blue color.
That's the beast cave.
That's the beast cave. And then the big thing is that I find we're selling energy. So you need to bring energy to the meeting.
Yes.
It's hard. It's right now it's 8:47. I've been up like since 6. I got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I have 2 little kids. I've been going all day long.
That reminds me, man. Let me get you going, and then I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
I
appreciate it.
On here.
Thanks, man.
I know that you moved from California to Florida, and just quickly, kind of tell us the differences you've seen from the California market to the Florida market.
Yeah. Okay. So major difference. Number one is California utility rates are super high, skyrocket high. You guys all know that. And Florida rates are pretty low. They're 12 cents per kilowatt hour. If you're in San Diego, SDG&E, or you're in Edison, you could be at 30 cents. You could be at 35 cents, right? So,
yeah, man. It's crazy.
That's one difference, right? You need to approach the customer to provide some savings. So I would say in California, you could probably sell for higher and get away with it. Whereas in Florida, if you sell for really high, you don't show them savings because they're forced to.
Is it kind of like how California was like 5-8 years ago, when there was just kind of like people doing it for the planet?
No, 5-8 years ago, I was selling at $8 a watt cash.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So it's definitely not like that. It's come down in Florida. Like you have to
Those people were doing it for their environment. They were clean energy. They weren't doing it for an investment. You're
right. No, 100%. So here also in Florida, homes are usually using a lot more power. It's way hotter. We have for example, my house has 2 AC units and a pool. And my bill is like $300 a month, and that's 2,500 kilowatt hours. You could have a house that gets a $300 bill in Los Angeles that's using 500 kilowatts or maybe 1,000 kilowatt hours. Okay, so that's a 7 kilowatt system. Here I'm selling 15 kilowatt systems. So that's pretty cool. System size is a lot bigger. So yeah, don't try, keep the industry fair, safe, honest. Have integrity. Don't try and walk away from a deal with $20,000 in Florida.
Florida sounds like Texas market. Sounds like a similar market to each other.
Very similar to Texas. Yep. Rates are low and people have big energy bills.
And hurricanes come through sometimes.
And they're also trying to get backup power. So don't be afraid of backup power. I sell 1 battery a lot because if you go to 2, yes, you can do more, but the price is another $60 more a month. So you start to price yourself out of the game. So I want to give this guy an easy barrier of entry. Get into solar, get into batteries, just get one, get started. And the payment was less like we saw with your case. So
All
yeah.
right, last question.
Yeah.
Last question. I'll get you out of here, man.
Yeah.
2020 was the year of COVID and it affected a lot of businesses, man. How did it affect your business and how are you doing this year?
COVID, man. Hey, shout out to everybody that's gone through it. We've all been through a ton. But you know how gold is made? Goes through a furnace. You got to melt it down and got to get boiled in. So COVID has made our business sick. It's made it go up. And we've all had to be concentrated and go through a ton of pressure. But guess what? If you do it right, you come out like a gem on the other side. All right. So put yourself through the heat. Don't be afraid. Try and
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah. Like I was working out of the home. My kids were screaming. I had nowhere to go. I'm trying to close deals. My wife's not working. So like, guess what? All the pressure's on me. Many people may feel that. And the kids screaming in the background, that affected me. So I'm like putting it on mute right away so they can't hear the scream. Unmute. Oh, that's great. Mute. Oh, that's amazing, Joe. Thanks. So now things are slowly starting to get back here in Florida. It's kind of like 2015, although I'm not, going to clubs, but I'm back in an office. So that's super helpful and allowing me to focus. But yeah, COVID, I think, has affected all of us. But guess what? It's made it standardized that you know what Zoom is. Because before COVID, nobody, like you could say Zoom and you're like, is that a Nissan commercial, Zoom? Or is that, now it's like, okay, right? So it's made a $80,000 sale totally acceptable over the phone or Zoom. So we should all do that.
That's usually like you went from being a disaster to forcing on the phone and then phone being a gold mine, right? So sometimes you don't know the negatives could turn into positives. So Benny, that's it, man. If everybody wants to reach out to you and everybody wants to, kind of communicate with you, any way to get to you?
Yeah, you guys can add me on Facebook. You can add me on Instagram. You can message me, Benny Fine. That's me. Or you can email me directly, benny.fine@icloud.com. Happy to help. I'd be more than happy to give anybody advice. Hit me a message. Don't worry about it. And let's chat. Let's link up. I think this year, 2021, is all about building bridges and making connections between others. So I appreciate this connection, Joe. It was awesome. We should all be successful being able to build bridges, closing a ton of deals, and making a ton of dough. Let's do it together.
Awesome, man. You're awesome, man. I really appreciate you on here. Next week, we got another superstar solo pro, Mr. Earl Capule. So really excited to have him on next week. But Benny, you're awesome. Appreciate it, man. We'll definitely do it again sometime. We're out.
Thanks, brother.